Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charity Michelle Schaefer. I'm your belief builder bestie. I coach you to make 6 and 7 figures online so you can have your full-time family. How you doing? I'm telling you, so here I am. Okay, just keeping it real. I made a promise to myself that I would show up for you tonight. So here I am. And if you're live, of course, if you're jumping on the live, please say hi, obviously, since we're friends and stuff. If you're catching the replay, drop hashtag grit to glory. If you're catching the replay, drop hashtag grit to glory. And I want to invite you also to share this with your biz bestie. We're going to be talking about tonight 3 tips to develop your authenticity. So why is that important? Okay, I'm going to tell you first and foremost that this is kind of like a conversation I feel like that's been kind of going on behind the scenes, okay? And so it's kind of what's transpired, like this whole conversation that I would want to have with you guys tonight, that I want to share some tips that if you will take them, not just listen, but take them and implement them, you will create some change in your life and in your business, okay? So there's been some conversations about this. Why is it important to develop your authenticity? Well, I'm going to tell you why. The reason why is because your authenticity is the sword, right? You know, I would probably say that most of you on here that are building a business, that you would probably most likely agree that, you know, these days on the social media world, it's not like what it used to be. Okay. A lot of people are in and on social media. Okay. Gary Vee calls it like one of the greatest opportunities that ever has been. Okay. And with that does come some competition. So why is it important to develop your authenticity? Well, because it's your sword, right? If you're out here in the field, if you will, or in the forest, your authenticity, if you will, is like a machete, you know, going through the forest, all right? Cutting down the trees. It's your edge, right? So wouldn't it make sense if you are desiring to scale a business of any kind that requires being online, being in relationships with people, all the different components, wouldn't it make sense that you take a couple of minutes to listen to this, to share it with a friend, to learn, to develop your authenticity? You know, I was listening something today, and it was just real quick. It caught my attention. I'm kind of one of those people. I've talked about human design before. I don't know a lot about it. However, I'm just kind of really super curious and intrigued by it. I am a generator, so I am intended to respond to things. So I will listen to something and then I'll be like, oh, it's like the files in my brain will like pull out and I'll be like, okay, this is what I have to say about this. This is what I can contribute to this conversation. And so that's why a lot of times, like when I get questions in my DMs or questions in the comments and things like that, it really does help steer and help me to create content that serves you. And that's what my intention is. So that's why we're having this conversation, because behind the scenes, there's been some authenticity conversations, okay? If you're picking up what I'm putting down. So I saw this thing, well, rather I heard it today, and it was talking about AI, okay? And so you guys can tell that, like, I don't know what you think about AI. Maybe you can tell me what you think about AI. Maybe AI is a thing that you're like, oh my gosh, this is an incredible tool. Maybe some people are scared of AI. There's lots of different opinions on it, okay? However, the conversation that they were talking about, hey, Angel, how are you, gorgeous? They were talking about how AI, you know, it is kind of the future. Like it's coming whether we want it to come or not, right? We're going to learn to leverage it. We're going to learn to utilize it, so on and so forth. And also with that, on the other side of the token, with that being here and coming, one of the most important things that you can do for your business is to develop and to be your authentic self. That's going to be your cutting edge, baby, to be yourself. Okay. The other piece that I want to speak to you about on this and why it's important before I get to the 3 tips that I'm going to share with you tonight is it is so much harder. And take it from me. Take it from me. I uploaded my cover photo, a new cover photo today that my amazing graphic designer, I want to give her a shout out, that she designed for me. Okay. And I really wanted that cover photo to really embody certain things about me. Okay. So that you could come to my Facebook profile, whether we're friends and we've been friends for a while, whether we've been friends for a little while, or whether we're just becoming friends, that you can go and you can look at that and visually kind of see who is Charity Michelle Schaefer. Okay. And with that, I wrote up some copy to go with that. And as I was thinking about that, one of the things that I said initially was, what would I tell little Charity? Well, I would tell her to be herself. I'd tell her to be herself. because the world will adjust. That's what I would tell little Charity. And I go on to talk about, you know, how difficult it actually is to exist in the in-between. Like for many years, I was conflicted. I was challenged because guys, look, I'm unique. I know it. I am unique. I am going to embrace all the uniqueness that is me. Okay. And I'm fine with it. All right. But for a long time, you know, that would come out. That would be the spark. That would be my edge in business. That would be my edge in relationships. And I had people that would tell me like, girl, you need to calm. They wouldn't even say girl. Like I had some men come into my life sometimes and say, you need to calm down. You walk the line. You this, you that, da 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 da. And whether I still had this feistiness about me, to be like, well, I'll show you. There was a part of me, like that little girl in me was like, gosh, okay, well, maybe I shrink. And so there was this challenge. There was this challenge and this conflict within of like, am I too much, right? Do I take up more space or do I shrink? If that resonates, okay? And I will tell you that one of the hardest things to do, hey, gorgeous, of course, I'm so happy to have you back on. So one of the most challenging things to do, though, is to exist in the in-between. In the in-between, you know, we think that just by being comfortable, and if you are where you can do this, I'm going to do this with y'all, okay? If you, I can't believe I'm going to do this. Okay. If you think about it, if I say, okay, jump up, and you jump, okay, if you jump like that, it's easy to do that when you do that because you're going all in. Jump! You know, you're jumping, right? Now, if also at the same time, though, I say, okay, all right, now go right here. Now stand right here. Stand right here. And if you could see the bottom right here, it's almost like you're like in a squat almost, okay? And you're just like that. Your butt's not quite on the chair, but you're not quite standing, okay? And you just keep standing like that. And I'm almost getting winded doing it, okay? And you just keep doing it. If you're doing this with me, you're feeling the burn. Y'all didn't know we were going to work out tonight, did you? But here we go. Hey, Jennifer, how are you, gorgeous? Thank you. I bite. Preacher Charity's coming on the line. Anyway, woo, my legs are burning. Okay, so what I'm saying, though, as I sit back down, is it's hard to exist in the in-between. That's why it's important. That's why it's important to just embrace it, baby. Embrace it. Whew, Lord have mercy. I'm going to take a drink of water. So, and here's what I want to tell you. Every single person that watches this live or on the replay, you have unique gifts. You have unique gifts. I'm going to tell you, you are better at something. Something. There is something that you are better at than the people around you. There's something. Something. You're selling yourself short. Embrace and elevate. Yes, ma'am. Jennifer says embrace and elevate. Embrace and elevate. So let's get into it. I told you I was going to give you 3 tips. The first one. The first tip for developing your authenticity is to look within. Look within. This is your invitation to stop looking outside for validation. Say it with me. Validation is for parking. So it's time for you to look within for your approval. It's to look within for your approval. And here's the thing with this. This is tricky, okay? It can be. But now it's not going to be anymore because I'm going to give you the answers to the test. The reason that this is tricky sometimes is because many of us, we are operating underneath old programming. Because you see, between the ages of 0 to 7, you were a walking subconscious. So some of the things that are happening for you that you're seeking outside validation for that's keeping you from fully embracing your full authenticity are stories that aren't even yours to carry. They're not even the truth. They're not even the truth. So what's important in this, as you're looking within, is to become conscious of the truth that which is you, the truth about you, not what somebody else said about you, not what you saw, daddy doing or mama doing or grandpa Bob doing or whoever doing. So you get to choose to become conscious of the programming that you're operating on. And then you get to get conscious about the truth and to begin to reprogram the story. And every time you take just one little baby inch step, one little centimeter step, like here I am. I think I just jumped into the gap. I'm in the fire right now. I'm burning. I got up in here. I'm jumping and doing lunges with you guys and everything tonight. And, here we are. Tell me I can't do something. Let's go. Hey, Shannon, how are you, gorgeous? So not rule. Well, they could be considered rules, really, for developing your authenticity. However, we'll say tip. Look within. Number 2. You probably have heard this before. I'm going to tell you again. The start stops most people. Okay? And you might say, okay, what do you mean by that? Well, I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. What I mean by that is, a lot of times when people get around me, the reason why that the whole belief builder bestie even came to be a thing is because so many people, I didn't make that up myself. It's because so many people would tell me, Charity, when I'm around you, I believe bigger. I believe in myself a little bit bigger. And it was just the most kindest and most wonderful compliment. But I kept getting and I kept getting. I said, you know what? I'm your belief builder bestie. Ride with me long enough, I'm going to have you convinced. 100%. Let's do it together. So what I'm saying by the number two thing is a lot of times, especially when people are around me, or maybe you've listened to something, or you went to a seminar, or you've listened to a really great book, or you plugged into a training, or whatever it is. And then when it comes time for you to really show up in your authenticity, what happens? A lot of times what happens is you're on the think about it plan. That's what starts to happen. Selena says, I'm a social butterfly and I cannot stop. I'm here for it. So what happens? What happens is that you don't do it. You don't follow through with it. You're on the think about it plan. It's all these ambitions, shoulda, woulda, couldas, maybe, might'ves. And then one day you use up all the time you have that you could've, would've, should've, might've, maybe, if only. So number 2 is this is tactical. I thought I had some Post-its. I had a whole stack of them. I got a whole slew of Post-its around here. So many Post-its. I want you to find 5 Post-its. Who can find 5 Post-its? Anybody? Okay. And these are going to be your magic Post-its. If you will implement this, it's one thing to listen and to take it in. It's another thing to apply. Get 5 Post-its. And I want you to put these around your house, but I want you to, what I invite you to write on them, okay, is why is it critical to your mission that you allow yourself to be seen and heard? I'm going to say that again. Why is it critical to your mission that you allow yourself to be seen and heard? Kirk, hey Kirk, how are you? I saw your story today. You were working out or something, I think, and it was inspiring. I was like, whoop, whoop. I also went to the gym. I laid on the floor today at the gym. My coach has got me back in the gym, y'all. I'm there, and I showed up. And I did it. I did the deed, But I saw your story, and it was really inspiring. So what I want you to do, though, is why is it critical to your mission that you allow yourself to be seen and heard? Why is it important to you? Why is it important? And I don't want it to be like, well, because I really want to make $100,000, like 100,000. That'll be great. Post it up on the wall. How's that? I mean, yeah, that'd be great. But why do you want that? Why do you want that? How is it going to affect you? How are you going to feel when you have that? What is really critical to your mission? I was listening to a gal. Oh my gosh. She's a friend, a client, a new team member. And she was talking about she was talking about some of this stuff. She posted a video about it, actually. And she was talking about how her mother just recently experienced a massive heart attack. And, her story just moved me so much. She was talking about how her mother experienced a massive heart attack. And with that, there were so many emotions. It was also on the same weekend, right around the same time, she was also burying her stepmother. Not her stepmother. Her mother-in-law. It was her mother-in-law. That's who it was. And then her mother had a massive heart attack. And, thank God. But God, okay? Her mother is in great recovery, okay? She is doing very well, for those of you all that might wonder. However, it took a moment as she was sharing her story, and she said, it just dawned on me just how critical it is to the mission that I start getting out there, that I start being seen with the mission and the message that's in my heart. So I took that from her, that's her words, actually. I want to give her credit. Her name's Irene. Critical to the mission, she said. And I thought, ooh, it gave me chill bumps. It gave me chill bumps. Write it down. Write it down on 5 Post-its. Why is it critical to your mission? Because see, we play with life, guys. We play with it. I'm guilty too. We play. And this isn't meant to evoke fear. I hope it evokes like a fire in your butt. And for you to also go like, I validate me. It is okay for me to take up space today. I am good now. Me, myself, and I, thank you, Lord, let's go. Boom. Because authenticity. And we already talked about why that's important. Don't sleep on this. Don't sleep on this tactical assignment. It's easy to do. It's easy not to do. Okay? Do it. Number 3, audit your camp. Audit your camp. For those of you guys that are hanging out with me, I really appreciate it. Like, you're amazing. I appreciate you. Say hi when you pop in. I see you. I see you guys popping up. So, I get fired up too sometimes. So then I'm like, and then it's like ADD and all the things. But anyway, number 3, audit your camp. Audit your camp. Okay, as we're talking about 3 tips to develop your authenticity. Audit your camp. Now, I'm going to elaborate on that. Here's the thing. Ruptures happen in connection. Okay, in connection with other people. You know, when you're growing up, things like that. As I continue to talk about this, it's going to make more sense. They also heal in connection. So this piece of it is really, really important. This is the nervous system work. We talked about in step 1, some of the subconscious work. Catching the awareness, catching the thought, retraining. Okay, there's so much science behind this. So much, okay? I'm not a scientist, for one. I'm not going to turn into that. So I'm giving you guys like what would it be? The speed version. That's what we're going to go with. So this is the nervous system work. Audit your camp. So, for example, if you find Batty Betty is always putting you down when you say something, or that you decide to take up space, or you do a Facebook Live, or you put you put a real flattering, marketing photo up of yourself on social media, if you are, XYZ, et cetera, and Batty Betty's always like, why would you do that? Don't do that. Put that down. No, that's not going to help support your nervous system to feel safe in showing up and taking up space. So audit your camp. Look at it. If Batty Betty's there, it's raining havoc on your system and it's keeping you stuck. And Batty Betty needs an eviction notice. Okay? So look at your camp and determine who is getting an eviction notice. Who is getting an eviction notice? And I mean, guys, look, you also don't have to it's like a silent eviction notice. Like, it don't have to be a thing where you're like, evicted. I was listening to Charity Michelle Schaefer. She's my online belief builder bestie. And she told me that you's got to go. Okay. Don't do that. Okay. You don't have to do that. All right. However, I mean, you can get distant. Yeah. Bye, Batty Betty. It said bye, right? Yeah, so y'all don't y'all do that to me. Don't y'all go telling people like, yeah, Charity Michelle said, bye, Batty Betty. Okay. However, you can get distance, right? You can pull your energy back, and you're going to also know, guys, listen, you're going to know, all right? One of the biggest indicators too of that is paying attention to your energy around them. How do you feel? Because I'm going to tell you, it does not lie. Vibes don't lie. Vibes don't lie. You can drop vibes in the comments if you're picking up what I'm putting down. I can tell, all right? There's people that I have been, doing inventory as well, and I'm like, ooh, I was feeling really up here. Vibe so high, I'm alive. I can't believe I'm vibe so high, I'm alive. Okay, and then all of a sudden they come around and like, and I'm like, I don't feel like that no more. You got to go, Batty Betty. Bye-bye, right? So, I mean, audit. Eviction notice, they must go out. It's going to enable and embrace and elevate. It's going to elevate you into feeling more aligned with your authenticity. It's going to allow you, you're going to permission yourself. You want a permission slip? These 3 tips are going to help you with that. Also, if you need somebody, if you want validation, let me be your validation. You got it, boo. You got it. Okay? Now, on the other hand, we're dropping eviction notice. We also want to like really like consider who's getting an invitation. Who's getting an invitation? Right? There might be certain people. I'm going to tell you one of the most healing things that I did when it comes to this right here too, from a nervous system perspective. And it's also why I went into the type of work that I did as well in creating safe spaces for people and things like that with the Leadership Institute and what we do with Grit to Glory. It's because I had a mentor. I was a part of masterminds with this particular human that's amazing. Her name's Erin. And she created and literally just held the most beautiful spaces of like healing spaces in which there was co-regulation and healing of these ruptures. Because, and you might not think that it makes a difference, but I'm telling you, it makes all the difference. And I'm not saying you got to go out here and get a mastermind or something like that, but I'm saying who are your people? Who are the people who are going to be in your circle? Because they need to be people that not need. It is a requirement, because need is almost in itself kind of like disempowering to say, oh, I need. It is a requirement. You know, you make a list. It is a requirement for the people that get my attention, for the people that are around my circle, for the people that I'm picking up the phone for. It is a requirement. Make a list. Like, be fierce with that. Hey, Linda, how are you, gorgeous? Thank you for the heart emojis. You're amazing. So just a quick recap for the 3 tips to develop your authenticity. 1, look within. 2, put 5 Post-its, y'all. 5 Post-its. Your 5 whys. So that whenever you're trying to like punk out, right? When you're trying to punk out of your promise, right? Because that's what happens. That's what happens. We go, you know what, later. You know, it was a little inconvenient for me to do this live tonight. But after I had multiple conversations with folks behind the scenes, I just had something like in my spirit. It was like a nudge. It was like, there's somebody that's probably going to hear this. Maybe they're on the live. Maybe they'll catch the replay. And they need to hear this. You know, and it would have been easy. It would have been so easy to just be like, you know, I'll talk about it in my stories. Which, by the way, I mean, my stories are like amazing. If y'all aren't in my stories, like I'm a very entertaining person. Okay. So you should come check them out, right? Come hang out, come talk to me during the day. You know, I have a good time in there. But it would have been easy. With those 5 whys though, you're going to see them and you're going to be like, hold on a minute. Hold on just a minute. Actually, you won't be like, hold on a minute. You'd be like, let's go. That's what you'd be like. Let's go. Okay, I remember now. Okay, here we go. I lost myself for a second, but we're back. Here we go. Let's go ahead and get at it. So, number 3, audit your camp. Audit your camp. Who's getting an eviction notice? Bye. What do we say? Bye, Batty Betty. Yeah, I don't even know where that came from. But anyway, who's getting that? Who's getting invitations, right? What's the requirement to ride with you? Hey, Susan, what's up, girl? So good to see you, gorgeous. I appreciate the hearts. I love them. They motivate me. When y'all engage with me and stuff too, sometimes it can be a little bit, it depends on what kind of live I'm doing. I really wanted to deliver this in this way. The other day I did a get ready with me. I'm not sure if I'm going to do more here on Facebook or if I'm going to go to what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm not decided. However, those are more like you can interact and stuff. Like I like talking to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's what I got for y'all tonight. If you got some value from this, drop value down below. And honestly, the most wonderful thing you could do, if it was a blessing to you, you can be blessed to be a blessing. Share it with a bestie. Share it with a bestie. All right. And I will see y'all next time.